Hi everyone, welcome back to my Flosstube. Today is Sunday, October 30th, and this is episode 5. Thank you to everyone who has watched my previous videos and who is returning here to see this one as well. And to anyone who is new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the video. Just a little bit about me. My name is Christina. I am a cross stitcher and all-around crafter living in Ontario, Canada. I love cross-stitching, knitting, crocheting, sewing, quilting. I've tried a lot of different crafts, but those are the ones that I do the most often. And it's been 2 weeks since my last video, and I'm trying to stick to a 2-week schedule, so here I am. I don't have a ton of stuff to show you today, so I think this will be a bit of a quicker video. But I have basically just a couple of things that I've worked on since the last video. I have one whip, I have 2 new starts, and then I have some haul. I went to my local needlework shop yesterday and I picked up a few things, more than I probably should have, but there was just so much good stuff there yesterday. So I'm going to show you what I got, and I'll show you the projects that I've been working on. I'm kind of like ending the spooky season stitching since Halloween is tomorrow, and so I'm gonna be moving into more of like fall, winter, Christmas, all of that kind of stitching. I've just really had the itch to start Christmas stitching soon, so yeah, we're putting away the spooky season stuff until next year, and we're gonna move into Christmas. So let's start. Guess the first thing I'm going to show you is a whip that I showed you last time, and this is Trick or Treat by Cottage Garden Samplings. I'm going to show you the picture of this is what the pattern looks like, and I was working on this last time. The last time I was working on the border, I hadn't finished it yet. I'm going to show you a picture right here of where I was last time, and so that you guys can compare. And in my last video, I mentioned my goal for October was to completely finish the border on Cottage Garden, on Trick or Treat. And so I did. There's the whole thing. So I completely finished all of the border, and I got this pumpkin guy done. And so I'm really happy with that progress, because I just really wanted the border done by the end of October, and I did that, and I got actually further than I thought. So yep, let me see, how can I do this? There we go. So that is Trick or Treat by Cottage Garden Sampling. So just so you can see, this is a 40 count Newcastle linen in summer khaki as the colorway. It's showing up pretty well on here. It's kind of like a greenish, like a greenish brown, I guess. I'm using the DMC floss. It's mostly DMC called for. There's a couple of weeks Dyeworks called for, but they have a DMC alternative, and that's what I'm using for it as well. I'm doing 1 strand over 2. I started this on October 1st, and so this is everything that I've gotten done up until now. And so I'm going to be putting this away until next season now, and next season I'll pull it out again and start working on the other squares. But I'm very happy with the progress that I did on that for this time. So that is Trick or Treat. And I'm keeping that in my pumpkin project bag that I made. Let's put that aside. Okay, so the next one is another spooky season pattern. It's a new start for me. I've had the pattern for a while, but I haven't started it. I didn't start it until recently, so I started this on October 16th. It's Halloween Quaker by Lila Studio. I'm going to put a picture here of what the finished piece will look like, and then I will show you. This is where I am on it. And so I've gotten like 3 bigger motifs done, and then the hat, little witch's hat there, and a couple of smaller, just a smaller run up there. So I started this on October 16th. This fabric, yeah, I think it's actually coming out pretty well on here. It's sort of a bluish gray and it's kind of got like that modeling on it. It's a 25 count Lugana. It's called Stormy Night. It's by Zweigart. And I'm using the DMC floss. There is a conversion in the pattern, so I use that. And I'm doing 1 strand over 1 on this one. So I'm really liking how it's turning out. I like the colors and the motifs are really nice. And I'm happy with how much progress I've got on that. So that one, I'm also going to be putting it away again until next season. And then I'll pick it up again then. And there's all the threads that go with it. So that was Halloween Quaker by Lila Studios. Okay, next one is another new start. I believe I showed you this pattern in my last video, like with my haul that I got. And this is Sweater Weather by Plum Street Samplers. There's the picture. So I just started this one yesterday, October 29th. It's more of a fall pattern, not Halloween. So there is a pumpkin in it, but it's more like a fall pattern than a Halloween pattern. So I started this one yesterday. It's in my Q-Snap, so I'm going to show it to you. There's no before picture because I just started it. And let me just grab all the threads here. So there's all the threads that go in it. Lots of nice fall colors. And then this is where I am right now. I decided I was going to start in the upper middle just because I wanted to try and center it as much as possible right to left. I have a lot of extra fabric. There's going to be a lot of fabric left over. Like, I'm probably only going to use half of this piece. But yeah, this is where I am so far. So we got the little crow done here. And then I started working on the letters of weather. And this is on this is a 32 count. Let's see, you see it? Looks pretty good. It's a 32 count linen. It's French Cafe Mocha. I think it's by Witchelt. I'm using the DMC conversion. So on the pattern they use Classic Colorworks, but I'm using all the DMC conversions instead. And I'm doing 2 strands over 2. And like I said, I started this yesterday. So a lot of projects I've been working on recently have been 1 strand. So it's kind of like weird to go back to like 2 strands, but I am really enjoying it. And I think it's giving it some really nice coverage. I'm gonna be excited when this one is done. So this is Sweater Weather by Plum Street Samplers. Okay, so let me put that stuff up there. Okay, so those are all the projects that I've worked on in the past 2 weeks. Like I said, I didn't have a ton that I worked on. Been a little bit busier the past 2 weeks, so I haven't had a ton of stitching time, but that's what I've worked on in the past 2 weeks, and I'm pretty happy with that. So next, we're gonna go into my haul that I got yesterday when I was at my local needlework shop. So the first thing I got is just a pattern, and this is called Snow White by Little House Needleworks. It's super cute. I didn't buy any fabric or thread yesterday for it because I think I have a piece of fabric in my stash that would work for this, and then I'll figure out, once I figure out if I have fabric, I'll pull threads for it and get that done. But yeah, for now, I don't need to, I didn't need to buy any fabric for it. So yeah, that's the pattern that I bought. One of the patterns that I bought a couple of patterns. Okay, so the next pattern that I bought is called Snow Day by the Drawn Thread. There's a picture of what it looks like. It's so cute. I really love it. And so there's the pattern, and then the fabric that I ended up going with was this 36 count Edinburgh linen in Rue Green. I'm gonna stitch, I think 2 strands over 2. I'll have to see how it looks. Don't use 36 count that often, so I'll have to test 2 strands, but I think 2 strands is what I'm gonna use. And then these are the colors that I've got for it. So it's a I'm using 1 Valdani and then the rest in DMC, and there's all the colors, and I think that's gonna look really good. So that is Snow Day by the Drawn Thread. Okay, next up I have another pattern by the Drawn Thread. It's called Good Tidings. So there it is. Another really cute pattn, just says Merry Christmas. It's got the 2 birds sitting on a branch there. And then this is the fabric that I got for it. It is so there's the fabric. It is a 40 count Newcastle linen in natural. I really like this fabric. I've used it for like a couple of other projects before. It's just really nice to work on, and I really like the color. And so I'm gonna do 1/2. I know that I like 1 strand on 40 count, so I'm gonna be doing 1 strand over 2. And then these are the threads that I have for it. Again, I have 1 Valdani for the lettering, and then the rest DMC. So I went with Valdani for the lettering because in the picture of the pattern there's some variegation in the lettering, and so this Valdani thread, if you can see, it has a little bit of variegation to it, and so I think that'll look really nice for the lettering. And then I just went with DMCs for the rest, just to be a little bit more cost effective. But yeah, so there's all the pieces for that. And then, okay, next up, we're almost to the end, and like I said, this was going to be a pretty short video because I didn't have a ton to talk about today. Oh, I forgot to show these little star beads are for the pattern, the Merry Christmas pattern, Good Tidings pattern. There's some little stars. Okay, so next is I'm going to show a picture of the pattern. It's called Pavane for These Times by Long Dog Samplers. So I've had this pattern for a while. I actually bought fabric for it, and I was trying to start it, but when I was stitching, I just didn't like the fabric. It felt like the weave was like really loose, and none of my stitches were sitting nicely. Yeah, there just wasn't enough like stiffness or structure to the fabric as I like, and so I just didn't like it. It wasn't working out. So I ended up getting another piece of the so this is the 40 count Newcastle linen in natural that I just showed you for the last project. I ended up getting this for my Pavane for These Times. I'll be stitching 1 strand over 2 on this. This is the color that's the color that I picked for it, which is you can see it's tangly because I was already trying to stitch. It's DMC 400. So this is what it's going to be. And I really love these colors, so I think it's going to look really nice. Yeah, so I don't know when I'm going to try and start this or restart it. I didn't actually stitch very much. It was only like maybe like 10 or 20 stitches, and I just, I didn't like it, so I stopped. But yeah, that's going to be Pavane for These Times. And then, okay. Oh, I didn't take this out of the bag, so I'm really sorry for the noise. Dang it. But I'm going to show you. This next project is, okay. So this next project is one that I've shown you before because it's a kind of a whip. but it's like, I'll just show you, okay, the finished piece. It's the Snow Village by Country Cottage Needlework. So there's the finished piece right here. I'm going to show you a picture. And the I had showed you it before because I have started it. This is where I am on it. I have the first 2 blocks done out of, they're like 11, I think. 11 or 12 blocks. So there's the first 2, and I didn't have any of the other, I didn't have this pattern or the one below here or the one below here. So I didn't want to like count over to like, I didn't want to count like way down here. This is difficult. Okay, I didn't want to count like way down here because I didn't want to like miscount. So I wanted to either go here or go here next. And when I was at my local needlework shop on the weekend yesterday, I found this pattern, which is the skate shop, and it goes like right below this one. And so I can work on this next. I can work on this next one here. And then I also have the bottom corner, which is this snow cones. So you can see that better. So I actually have 2 now that I can work on, and then the next time that I'm in my local needlework shop, I'll look for the next ones that are in line. So this is actually on, let me just see what I'm doing this on. This is a 32 count linen in pearl gray. I'm doing the As Called For Classic Colorworks and DMC colors for this one. And I'm stitching 2 strands over 2. And I really like how this looks so far. It looks really cute, and I'm excited that I can start working on the next part now. So that is Snow Village. Okay, and the last pattern. This is one that I'm like super excited about. I had been thinking about this pattern and wanting this pattern, and so I decided I was going to, when I was going to my local needlework shop yesterday, I was going to get this, and I was going to get all the threads and some fabric for it so that I could start it. And so this is Kringles by Little House Needleworks. And I don't know if it's just me, but like this just like reminds me of, that part in Home Alone, Lost in New York, when he is at like the toy store, and then that's where he ends up like seeing the sticky bandits and they're robbing the toy store. This just reminds me of that toy store. So it's like very like nostalgic, and I really like this pattern. So this is Kringles. I'm so excited to get started on this. I'm probably going to start it really soon. Okay, so let me show you. This is the fabric that I got for it. So let me just hold that up. There's a long piece of fabric. And this is what did I get? It's a 40 count Newcastle linen, and the color is platinum. I am using, the pattern calls for DMC and Classic Colorworks, but there is a lot of colors, so I end up going with all the DMC. There's DMC conversions in the pattern, so I end up going with all the DMCs, and so these are all the colors here. It's hard to see them all, but yeah, there they are. And so I'm really excited about doing this. Let's see if you can see a bit better there. Spread it out a bit. But I'm so excited about getting started on this pattern. And yeah. And so here it is again, just to show you. And yeah, so that is the last piece of haul that I got this weekend when I was out. So I'm super excited to start moving into more of a Christmas, fall sort of stitching instead of, I've been really focusing on my Halloween stitching the past couple weeks, or basically like all of October. So I'm really excited to be able to move into like fall, it's still fall, so kind of fall stitching, and then like also moving into winter stitching and Christmas especially, because I love Christmas stitching and Christmas is definitely my favorite time of the year. So I'm super excited to get started on these patterns that I bought. Also a lot of other ones that I have in my stash already kitted up and ready to go. I've showed you some of them in previous videos, but I'll definitely pull them out again when I get started on them or when I work on them to show you all again. So thanks so much for stopping by today and watching the video. And if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave a comment below. I never really know what people want to hear or want to know. So if there's anything I talked about or that you wanted to know more about, or anything that I didn't mention that you just want to know, please leave me a comment below and I'll be more than happy to answer anything, any questions that you have. Also, if you like this video, I really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. It would help me a lot and I would really appreciate it. I plan to come back again in 2 weeks to film again. I'm trying to stay on a 2-week schedule. So I'll be back again in 2 weeks with another video, just showing basically everything that I've been working on in 2 weeks from today. So thank you so much for stopping by and I really appreciate it. And yeah, bye.